Guess who's back? I'm back again. Probably didn't know I was gone. Tell a friend. Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome to another stale movie review. If you follow me on social media, I know kind of, but not really, promised a review on Get Out for this Monday. But I didn't have time to go see it because, sorry, there's like dust floating everywhere. I didn't have time to go see it because, again, if you follow me on social media, I was writing a paper all last week. Hence the reason why no videos. I just didn't have time because unfortunately I couldn't take time off of work to write my paper, so I had to work and write that paper. I made it about horror movies again. If you've seen my Is Horror Legit video, which I will link there, or sit on this side, one of these sides, the little thing that pops up on the screen. You can go watch that if you would like. I made that paper about horror too, so yeah, no. Today we're going to be talking about American Mary. I recently rewatched it. We watched it a couple of times. American Mary is directed by Jen and Sylvia Soska, the Soska sisters, the Twisted Twins, whatever you want to call them. Directed by those two, starring Catherine Isabel of Ginger Snaps, probably one of the better known movies that she's in that you would recognize her from for sure. But Homegirl's been in a lot of movies. So briefly, American Mary is about Mary, played by Catherine Isabel, who is a medical student, and she is struggling to get along financially because, you know, she wants to be a surgeon, and pretty much to be like any kind of doctor, you need a shit ton of schooling, but especially for surgeons, you need a shit ton of schooling. So she's struggling to get by financially, and she kind of inadvertently picks up doing body modifications for money, and it's like a super underground thing. Like, it's not really legit, but she does it, and it's cool. So what did I like about it? It's not as gory as you might think. Definitely, if you see the movie poster for American Mary, like, you know, she's got the bone saw, she's got an apron and stuff like that. It looks like it's gonna be a gory movie. It almost, and like, you know, when you read the premise, it feels like it's probably gonna be like a Hostel type movie, like super gory, but it's not as gory as you might think, actually. The gore is kind of kept down to a minimum, and I'll come back to this point. Yeah, I'll come back to that point. It has something for the ladies in there. I mean, of course, one, it's a lady basically self-starting a business. Kind of inadvertently, she gets drawn into doing it like what she thinks is going to be a one-time thing, because she's offered a lot of money, and, you know, she needs that money. So it's meant to be a one-time thing, and then it turns out like she's quite good at it, as she is she's a very good student, and she practices on chickens from the store and things like that, her suturing and things. So it turns into a business that she runs, more or less. But I like, and I think we talked about this on Ghouls Night Out with, it was, oh gosh, it was like the 8th of February or something like that. I was on with Horror Gal, and Gory, the movie of horror addicts, of course. We briefly talked about American Mary, and I think I mentioned what I like about it is that one of her instructors, Dr. Grant, when Mary kind of starts getting into this whole body modification thing and starts making a lot of money, he assumes that she's been prostituting herself for money. Like, she has like a nice dress on and things like that, which the dress was a gift from her first patient, do I want to say? Subject? Client? Probably client. Client's a better word for it. From her first client. But I just love that he assumes that she became a prostitute to make money, because that's the only way for her to make money doing anything. She's a very smart girl, but she would, you know, she could only think of that way to make money. I don't know. I just like that. And then it turns out, like, basically she's essentially doing the work that she's in school to do as a career. Like, obviously, like, body modification is not being a surgeon. There is a distinct difference. But she's kind of essentially doing that job already. So it's like kind of forsaking Dr. Grant and like the school and everything like that, where she's basically like, you know what? Like, why do I need to be in school? It's almost anti-school, isn't it? Because it's more or less kind of like, she's like, well, I don't really need to be in school because I can make a lot of money doing this and I'm good at it. And you know, it involves what she likes to do, which is surgeon-esque type things. Anyways, there's also a very complicated, and I would love to like just like go out and have a cup of coffee and have a discussion, like a just like hours long discussion on this, because I feel like there's no, I guess I've seen this movie a couple times. I guess I just have to see it a few more times. I don't see a concrete conclusion on this, but there's definitely kind of inklings of an idea of like the need for women to look a certain way, like based on society versus what they actually want to look like. So there's two characters in the movie. The first one is the one who approaches her about the other girl. So she approaches Mary about doing a very specific body modification job on one of her friends. This girl is Beatrice, played by Tristan Risk, and she has gotten different body modification surgeries for her to look like Betty Boop. And then her friend, who is Mary's first client, is trying to emulate a Barbie doll figure. So she wanted her nipples removed and her vagina closed up as much as possible to look like a Barbie doll. And she'd already had other stuff done, of course, so like she more or less like looked like the Barbie doll. It was like Mary was completing the process for her. So there's definitely an idea there of like what society wants women to look like and what society finds attractive in women versus what we actually want. Because it's like, because you could spin it like, oh, well, like you just think that you want to look like that, but that's because society has taught you that, like with all the Barbies and stuff growing up and things like that, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, there's a very fine line, I feel like, between like, it could be that, or it could be they actually do want to look like that. So what did I dislike about it? The only thing that I just really don't like about this movie every time I watch it is the ending. And I'm not gonna give it away, even though this movie has been out for 5 years now. And I think we're a little bit past spoilers, but the ending, and those of you that have seen it, maybe you know what I'm talking about. If you dislike the ending as well, I just feel like there's not enough closure. It's a little bit random, almost feels rushed maybe, like they needed to end it in some crazy dramatic way. And so that's, you know, the ending is the direction they decided to go with. I don't know. So why should you watch it? It's gonna make you cringe without the blood, and that's what I said I was gonna come back to when I said it's not as gory as you might think. But there are still parts that are kind of hard to watch or kind of hard to look at. At least for me, like it's definitely like gonna make you cringe and squirm and feel uncomfortable, but without all the blood and guts. Which, I mean, as a horror fan, I'm fine with blood and guts, but it's always fun when a movie can make you do that without an excessive amount of guts and gore and things. So that's very well done, and that's why you should watch this movie. So I'm definitely gonna give this movie a rating of Fangtastic, man. And if anybody wants to get that coffee with me and have this discussion, I'm buying. Let me know in the comment section down below. Also, let me know in the comments what you think of American Mary. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like it? Do you hate it? And let me know your thoughts on the ending, maybe without trying to give away too much, just in case people out there haven't seen it, but let me know your thoughts on that. And as always, leave recommendations for future movie reviews. I will get to seeing Get Out. We have to talk about that movie. Like, doesn't it have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Right? That's kind of crazy. So we have to talk about that movie. Right. Until next time, stay strange. Bye.